to my channel. It's your girl as always, Cecilia. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. If you aren't, welcome back. Okay, so I've decided that, honey, don't look at me like that, it really makes me very stressful. I've decided that I will be doing a series of me giving advice. Even though you guys didn't ask for it, I am gonna give my advice whether you like it or you don't. And honey, I saw you looking, but it's okay. And today I want to talk about seven signs for you, my sis, because I'm not talking about guys. Obviously, I can only speak out of my experience, and I want to talk about guys that just clearly aren't for you. I feel like a lot of girls, and I think me included, up until the age of 23, which was last year, I have been in relationships where the relationship was screaming, sis, he isn't for you, and I still stayed. And because I care so much about all of you guys, I don't want you guys to be going through that. So I have gathered 7 signs for you to see and to know that the guy is not the guy for you, and for you therefore to move on, sis. If you look at your boyfriend or the guy or whatever you're dealing with and he's already making you feel like you should question him, he's already not giving you the feeling that you were sure about your relationship, and then you find every 7 of those signs in there, you need to run. Sign number 1, he doesn't claim you. This sign, like, if a guy doesn't claim you as his girlfriend, please stop. Please stop acting as his girlfriend. If he doesn't give you the title, please stop. Honestly, stop. And I know it's not easy because, you know, a lot of times feelings are involved. A lot of times, you know, you care for the person, but sometimes love is not enough. If a guy doesn't claim you, if a guy never told you, honey, right now you and I are boyfriend and girlfriend, please stop. It just means that the guy doesn't want to claim, like, he doesn't want to. Every guy that wants something gets it. Every guy that wants to get something will work for it. If he doesn't do that, he doesn't want you. It is hard to listen to, it is hard to hear, but it is the truth. If he wanted you, he would have. Dead ass. Like, if the guy doesn't claim you, if he always wants to keep you a secret, if he doesn't want people to know about you, if he makes you like hide things, you know, oh yeah, if when you guys are meeting your friends, he's not saying, oh, this is my girlfriend, he's like, this is my friend, this is my best friend, this is my homegirl. No. If he never claimed your relationship, you are not in a relationship, and he is not the one for you, and you have to run right now. Us and both on this thing, you gotta go. You can't stay. A guy that wants you will claim you. He will want to show you off, and maybe he wants to live his life privately, so he's gonna be like, oh, okay, let's just, you know, keep it a secret for the moment. But when he is there to claim you, or when he has to claim you, he should always say, this is my girlfriend, this is the woman I'm about to marry. If he doesn't do that, girl, bye. Number 2, he doesn't acknowledge your feelings. I think men, in their nature, the way they're born, I think a lot of them are really born with the, you know, with the gift to actually manipulate people. If a man doesn't acknowledge your feeling, as in he doesn't really care about what you feel, you could tell him this, he would say you're overreacting. You could say you're a little bit jealous. He would say, you know, my girlfriend anyway. If he doesn't acknowledge your feelings, if he doesn't sit you down and talk you through it, if he doesn't listen to your feelings, if he doesn't say and he confirms your feeling, and he actually listen to you, and he's like, oh, you know, I understand where you're coming from. He doesn't even have to agree. You know, I think that's the beautiful thing about men that are really mature. He doesn't have to agree with how you feel. He doesn't have to agree with what you're thinking, but at least he's acknowledging your feelings. At least your feelings are valid. If your feelings aren't valid in his life, if you feel like he doesn't care, he doesn't care. A guy that cares will show you he cares. If he doesn't show you that, sis, don't sit down and be asking yourself 10,000 questions. He does not care. Number 3 is that he doesn't talk about your future together. Listen, you know, guys, and I think a lot of mature people, or just people in general, all of us, unless you're in a time where you don't really talk about the future, but all of us always see after today. As in, we always project ourselves in the future. If a guy doesn't talk to you about your future together, if he doesn't use words as us, he is not the one for you. A guy that wants you doesn't only want you now, he wants you tomorrow, he wants you the week after that, and he's potentially seeing you guys together in the future. Of course, there are certain guys that say, well, for now, I don't want to be talking about relationship, I don't want to be messing with anybody, and that's fine. Everybody has their own time and their own thing. So when a guy tells you that, you should respect that. You should be trying to get a relationship out of a guy that already told you he doesn't want a relationship. The next one is already like what I said. When a guy tells you he's not ready, when a guy tells you he's not ready, believe it. A guy already told you, you know, I'm not really in a place to be in a relationship, I'm not ready. And we women, we always have this thing where we think we can change the guy, but the guy doesn't want to be changed. He doesn't want to have a relationship. Maybe not with you, because sometimes they'll be like, yeah, I don't want to have a relationship, but then 2 weeks later you're gonna see him with another girl. If he tells you he doesn't want to have a relationship, don't try to force it. Don't try to get a relationship. Don't try to make it, and don't even behave like a girlfriend. You know, because when you're gonna behave like a girlfriend, they're gonna get used to it. You know, he already told you. I had this guy I was dating, and you know, one day I was very jealous, and he really told me, you're not my girlfriend anyway. And I couldn't even blame him, because I wasn't his girlfriend anyway. So from that day I said, I will not, well, I did it again, but the lesson is that you should not try to get a relationship out of a guy who told you he doesn't want a relationship, out of a guy who told you he's not ready. Especially, guys are always ready. They are always ready. When he says that, he's just not ready for you. He doesn't want to be with you, and I know it's hard to hear it, but it's the truth. In that case, you should gather your things and leave. Number 6, when he doesn't make you a priority. When a guy doesn't make you a priority, when a guy doesn't think about you first, when a guy doesn't think of checking in with you before doing anything else first, sis, he's not the one for you. You should leave. I don't even know how else I can say this, because guys that love you, they want to have you in their project, they want to have you in their plans, they want to check in with you before doing anything, they want to have a second opinion before doing anything. And if your guy or the person you're dating always does things without even mentioning, always does things before even thinking, oh, what would my girl think about it, sis, he's not the one for you. And I know it's hard, I know it's hard to understand, but he's not the one for you. He isn't. You should be a priority. You should be the one he thinks of when he wakes up in the morning. You should be the one he thinks of before he does anything else. He would want to text you, call you, check on you, and if he doesn't, sis, bye. 6 is when you never agree about the most important thing. But when you don't agree on things that are very big, as in on faith, for example, or on how you want to raise the children, or on the education, for example, or on how you see the future in general, when you don't agree on big things, now you already know it's going to be an issue in the future. Because in the beginning of the relationship, I always say that the beginning of the relationship is when you put down, you know, the base of the relationship. You're preparing the relationship at the beginning. We have to have a certain agreement on the big things, on the important things, on the things that are very dear to us. We have to have a certain agreement. And if a guy and you, and sometimes it's just, you know, sometimes you're just opposite, and it's fine. You know, the physical attraction is on everything. Loving somebody is not everything. But sometimes it's just your personality are clashing constantly. Personalities are not the same. You guys can't find a common ground. When you feel like you can't find a common ground at the beginning of the relationship, sis, I'm not even gonna repeat myself, you need to sashay away. Last but not least, when a guy is not over his past. I've never really been through that, where a guy is in love with his ex-girlfriend, and I thank God for that. But I have been the reason why certain boys couldn't move on, because they were still thinking about me, and then their new girlfriend who texts me trying to fight me, which is really bird behavior, because obviously what can I do about it? But when a guy, and now I'm gonna be very mad, when a guy is not over his past, over the girl he used to date, there is nothing you can do about it. There is nothing you can say about it. There is nothing you can change about it. Like, respect yourself enough to gather your stuff and to leave. That guy is pretty, maybe he's not a bad guy. Maybe he's not even a guy that, you know, is trash or anything. That's just a guy that still needs work on himself. That's just a guy that still needs to process certain things. And, you know, love hurts sometimes. You know, love is a beautiful thing. When you loved right and you loved correctly and you have somebody that adores you, that shares you, that spoils you, then love is a beautiful thing. But sometimes we get in situations where love is the most ugly thing that can ever happen. You hate each other. You're looking at the person and you can't even believe that that was the person you thought you were going to end your life with. And then you get in situations where you need to forget about that person. And I think guys, especially when they're invested in a relationship, they have a hard time to actually let go of their ex-girlfriends. And then that ex-girlfriend is going to move on and the guy is going to be with another girl, but then that girl has to deal with the fact that he still didn't forget about his ex-girlfriend. We don't want that. We don't want that at all. So when something like that happens to you, when the guy already tells you, you know, I'm not over my girlfriend, or sometimes they're not even going to tell you that. Sometimes you got to sense it. And so you should just respect yourself enough to just leave. It might be really hard. I'd never want to be the person that has to deal with another person's hurt. I'm not doing it. I think it brings you in a place where you want love and the guy you're looking at is not able to give you that love because his heart is still with somebody else, and you don't want that. So that was it for today, girls. I really hope everything is fine with everybody. I think it's really tough times, you know, staying at home and, you know, not being able to see certain friends, not seeing certain people, and it's just really hard on all of us. But I think if we all stay home, we're gonna be able to beat this virus. But I love you guys. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Mwah.